We've had a morning already, and it's just going to get better and better when the Big Orange takes on the Dogs later on. Rece Davis, Kirk, Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, Nick Saban, and Pat McAfee. You know, Dogs have dominated these guys 8 in a row, all by at least 2 touchdowns, Pat.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the open, and you got your ass booed for good reason. And, you know, getting a chance to be around this beautiful town for the last 24 hours has made me realize that it's great to be a Tennessee Volunteer. Today we celebrate what makes this country great, and today we celebrate the greatest sport on earth, football, and it's great to be a Tennessee Volunteer, and it's great to be on Rocky Top, Rece. And Saturday always delivers this college football season.
Yeah. Take a look at today's hot streak delivered by DoorDash, and that Tennessee offense has been scalding hot since Josh Heupel took over, and this year is no different. Most points in the first 2 games. I mean, think of the storied history of Tennessee football in a century. Last 2 years, most points scored in the first 2 games, and the head coach of the Big Orange, Josh Heupel, is here with us. This crowd's amazing. We've been here a couple of times when you guys have stopped long streaks, turned things around, you've gone to the playoff. Now you got a shot at Georgia. What does it mean to a program and momentum for a season when you put the brakes on streaks like you have against Florida, Alabama, and now the chance against Georgia?
Yeah, for sure. You know, since we've gotten here, our program's continued to grow, and that's credit to our staff and our players. This fan base is unrivaled in college sports, and today's going to be electric. You guys probably drove by Vol Navy. The boat's been tied up since Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great atmosphere, but we got to go play a really good Georgia team. We got to play smart and physical for 60 minutes.
Coach, there's a hint of moonshine in the air around here. Just kind of walk around. It just kind of hits you. How's it been for your new quarterback? He's been to a lot of different places, and he's no stranger to the mountains or the hills, obviously, over there at App State, City College of San Francisco, I believe. Diablo Valley, I think, is the name of the college he was at. Then UCLA quickly, now to here. What's it been like getting him on campus? What has he been like for your team? Because obviously it looks spectacular, like a perfect fit.
Yeah, he's well-traveled during the course of his college career. I got great respect for the journey that he's gone through. He's got a great appreciation for the opportunity that he has here with his teammates, his coaches, and this fan base. He's played really well the last 2 weeks. Very consistent, just really calm demeanor in who he is. He went about it the right way when he got here in May, and today's the next step in his journey and our journey.
You know, for you guys, really for anybody who's gone up against Georgia since Kirby's been there, it's been a challenge. They have great players. They've
been good.
Great scheme. What for you this year with this matchup with Joey has to be different for you guys to have success?
Ultimately, you got to play a complete game. You got to be able to win at the line of scrimmage. You got to stay out of 3rd and longs. Then you got to go convert 3rd downs too. And a year ago, we weren't very good on the plus side of the territory, and we got to get into the scoring zone and get points out of those opportunities.
Coach, I know that you guys are down 2 defensive backs coming into this game, but let's just talk about your defense and what you expect from them in this big matchup against the Bulldogs offense.
Yeah, this game doesn't care about injuries, right? Next man's got to step up.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of young guys that one of our themes during the course of the offseason is young guys don't have time to be young, and they've continued to grow, and that was placed, you know, me talking about young guys not being young. That was, you know, forced upon our coaches and our leadership in each position room, and they took great command of that. Young guys have grown. This is our biggest test, but in the secondary, we got guys that we like and trust back there, and they're going to have to go win, and that's going to be in zone coverage. They're going to have to be able to make tackles out in space off the perimeter screen game, and then when we're in man coverage, they got to go win.
You know, playing against you, and one thing I always respected was it's so important to get off the field on 3rd down when you're on offense, because you know you're going to get some more fastball plays, you know, if you guys convert. But it was also difficult to substitute on 3rd down. And if you couldn't get your dime team in there or whatever, and then if you got them in there, you wouldn't let us get them out. So what's the plan for 3rd down today?
We don't want them to get their best rushers in the football game. But there's always a balance to it. Our personnel putting them in the right spot, picking and choosing when we're using our tempo. But it is certainly a form of how we're going to apply pressure during the course of every ball game. We need that to be an advantage to us today as well.
Okay, so for people that have never seen Neyland kind of do its thing, what is it going to look like out there? What are you expecting from these folks? Because they were pissed. They got kicked off. They were camping out for this.
Yeah.
They got kicked off of campus because of some procedural thing. They changed the rule to let them come back here for game day. Yeah. These people are insane. They've been the most lit audience that we have had thus far. Yeah. What is the game going to look like, and what will that stadium look like? And how is that such an advantage for you as well?
Neyland's always lit. Checkered Neyland's a little bit more special. Today is going to be college football as good as it gets inside of that stadium.
We need that.
It's going to be spectacular. Josh, always great to see. Are you a boat guy? Do you have a boat?
Yacht. He's got a yacht. He coaches in the SEC.
Hey, when I'm done coaching, that's where you'll find me.
Aguilar in his career has thrown for more than 7,000 yards. He's played a lot of ball. You see the comparisons that are inevitable when what turned out to be a de facto trade with Aguilar coming from UCLA to Tennessee and Nico going the other way. And so far, Joey with a better surrounding cast for sure, off to a much better start. And really the offense has fit him. They haven't thrown the ball down the field a ton, but he's been successful when he has been able to do it. Why is he fit in this offense so far, Nick?
You know, Joey's not as tall as Nico. He's probably not as fast as Nico. But when it comes to executing their offense at Tennessee, he's been exceptional in terms of his accuracy on RPOs, taking advantage of advantage throws, which, you know, come with the run game. And he's been very effective throwing the ball down the field, and he's been athletic enough to get away from trouble when he needs to. Let me show you on the tape here. You know, first of all, you know, this first play is, you know, what I call an advantage throw. This is a running play by call. You see the numbers on the outside. They got two guys over two guys in soft coverage. So he's going to spit the ball out here. And the most important thing about these throws is being accurate, because the guy's got to be able to catch it and run with it. And Joey's done a really good job of doing that so far this year. Now here's a play action pass. They get out there, they cover him, they run with him. He shows enough athleticism to extend the play and make an explosive play with his feet, which he's not known for, but he's good enough to do it. And then you see here the great play action pass. Both safeties are involved in the running game, but the corners think they have inside help. So you see the good ball fake here, gets the safeties to freeze, post over the top, very accurate throw down the field for a big play touchdown. So, you know, very impressive. Now, this is the one thing that impresses me most, because when you take these big splits like Tennessee does, to be able to throw the ball from one hash mark to the other on a sail route and hit it on the line at 35 yards, that's an outstanding, exceptional throw. Great strength, great accuracy. I think this guy fits Tennessee's offense perfectly.
I think the thing about him also being the leader that he is, having the road that he's had, he's been able to come in a short amount of time and become the leader of that locker room. Now, I think Heupel loves him because he's able to operate that fastball offense as well. With that fastball offense, staying on schedule is certainly a big deal. They only returned one starter on the offensive line. They brought it in two transfers who each had over 700 plays or something like that. And then they also had 5-star recruit on the offensive line. So if Joey can get moving, and they can move the rock, they lose Dylan Sampson, obviously an incredible running back. But if they can get that thing moving, they're in a good spot. But that Georgia defense, they just won the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. With how many Georgia players are there. And I think there were 7 more players that went to the NFL last year. They're always going to have a great defense in Georgia. Joey's going to figure it out, I guess.
I'm glad you brought that up, because as guys move out, new guys move in. Now, they had a couple of guys who were sophomores a year ago. They played a lot of football, played extremely well, but I don't think they were quite household names. But after today and moving forward, you're going to hear about these new pups. New pups in old insane pound. Let's go run the tape. The first one is my guy, man, Christian Miller, the nose tackle right there. He's in the 2 technique. He's a disruptor. Why? Because he obliterates one-on-one matchups. So they're going to try to double team him. Watch the right guard's going to come around to try to help the left guard. And look at Miller. Stands him up, holds his point, and he gets a tackle for loss. That's the #1 pup. Sophomore last year, ready to take a leap. Raylan Wilson, 9 technique right there on the outside. 6'1", 235 pounds. Offensive tackle, 6'5", 315. Watch how bullish he is. He drops his shoulder, Let's do it real speed so you can really appreciate it. Drops his shoulder, runs him into the backfield, and gets the sack. And then this guy, C.J. Allen, now he's going to hunt. Now this coverage is man-to-man across the board with a safety in the middle, but C.J. is right there. He's a spy, or like my man Nick Saban likes to call him, the rat. He's spying the quarterback, he hunts, and gets a sack too. Those three young pups, same pound, I think that they're going to introduce or baptize our guy Joey Aguilar to SEC football this afternoon at 3:30.
You know, the one thing that we never talk about is how do you prepare for fastball? You know, these guys snap the ball in 21 seconds. Well, in practice, you got to have a scout team. You got to show them a card so they know what play to run. You run the play. You want to correct the defensive players. You're playing against this offense. You got to have 2 huddles running at the defense. You got to run 6 or 8 plays in a row. All right, so the players get used to the pace of play, and then stop down practice and then go back and make corrections for each one of those plays that you messed up, even if you have to repeat it. So it's a completely different presentation for the players. Now, the one thing, Kirby knows how to do this because we played against this offense for a long time.
One thing about this scheme, because of the tempo and their splits, sideline to sideline, when we watch Alabama or Georgia defend them, usually it becomes a line of scrimmage game where guys like Coach Saban and Kirby Smart, they haven't had to put that extra guy down to the line of scrimmage and then create those vertical seams. And because of that, it's been a line of scrimmage game that Georgia a lot of times has been able to win. Look at the 4 games of Josh Heupel's offense. It's almost like a kryptonite against his scheme. And it's because what Des just showed you, big, strong, physical defensive linemen that allow you to 2-gap where you don't have to commit safeties down. And that creates one-on-one opportunities. That's where Tennessee hits those vertical seams. Now, to me, we're talking all about the quarterbacks and all this thing. This is the epitome of a line of scrimmage football game. If Tennessee can run the ball, regardless of the tempo and everything else, they can set up RPO, they can set up play action. But if they can't run the football today, they're going to have a tough time. So to me, it's about the line of scrimmage as much as anything.
And, you know, Josh Heupel was stubborn about running the ball. I mean, they got their 4 or 5 plays that they're going to run against the odd front, even front, and he's going to run the ball, and he's going to establish the run in the game. And if you stop him, you got a good chance. But if you don't, you're in trouble.
He said yesterday that they never get credit for 2,500-plus rush yards basically every single year. Everybody thinks it's a razzle-dazzle through the sky because Hendon Hooker, he's like, we commit to the run, and they're going to have to. A lot of new starters in the offensive line. And if you can get a couple first downs, all of a sudden that defense gets a little tired, can't sub. And then the Heupel is all the way real. And that could happen today here in Neyland. That could happen.
It's one thing that Tennessee hasn't done against Georgia, though. They haven't run the ball well, but Georgia's run defense last couple of years, not quite what it was a few years before. Big test both ways coming up.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch them walk right past you. Run fast while you have the chance. Don't speak, let